their nest success right now is estimated to be like maybe 1 in 3 times they lay an egg will it hatch, and then maybe like 60% of the time will that chick reach adulthood, and then it takes 2 years before they will start laying eggs, and then, you know, all those different factors together, they say there's probably an 80% chance that murrelets could go extinct in the next 40 to 60 years if that continues. So it's kind of put us on this, in the spot of trying to figure out what can we do to encourage their survival and not continue to make them decline. Who asked? Oh, Cliff asked the question about do they use hardwoods as well? And Jerry got into this discussion actually with somebody about
BLM.
the BLM. That's right. Do they use big leaf maples? Because we all have seen big leaf maples with, you know, really big mossy branches, and they refuse to recognize that. And Jerry's like, of course they can use big leaf maples. So I brought this picture for Jerry because OSU found a murrelet nesting in a big leaf maple. I thought this picture right. This is my pass off to you.
Thank you very much. Took note of what it looked like and wondered if she should bring it with her or what, but she just dropped it back there at the base of the tree where it was, and she got home, I guess that night, or when Jim got back from his training, she was telling him about this egg that she'd seen, this eggshell, and he said, oh wow, that's a marbled murrelet eggshell, because he had just been at the training and had just learned what they looked like. So, you know, it was perfect timing. And then it was really amazing. They went back up to the same place and actually found the eggshell, which is pretty remarkable because the mice or whatever eat them pretty quickly. But the eggshell was still there, and they looked at it and decided, yeah, definitely, you know, Jim really thought it was a murrelet eggshell. And so this, where the eggshell was found, was in a proposed clear cut. There was a timber sale proposed for up there in the North Fork that basically would have cut the roadless area in two, because we were already at that point working on the copper salmon wilderness proposal. There's a roadless area up there that contained mostly the North Fork of Elk River, some of the South Fork, and a little bit over to Sixes. And we wanted that roadless area to be protected. And so if this timber sale had gone through, it would have split that roadless area in two pieces and made it much weaker case, and, you know, harder to get wilderness designation for it anyway. So it was a really big deal where this eggshell was laying. And then Jim, I think, called Kim Nelson, who was the authority at OSU about murrelets, and told her about it. And so they had some people, I think Kim came down, Paul Engelmeyer, who climbs trees, came down, a couple of Forest Service people, biologists came, and they did a murrelet survey right there. And sure enough, a couple people saw a bird come in or leave, or I think come in and leave later, you know, whatever was going on. It was proven by the survey that there were birds nesting there. And so Paul Engelmeyer climbed the tree right next to it, climbed up there, and set up a video camera, you know, spotted the nest and set up a video camera on that nest. And in a couple days, or came back, I guess I don't know if it was motion triggered, I don't know how that worked, but anyway, he got that video that Teresa mentioned earlier, where a murrelet came in with a fish and fed it to the chick, and the chick was like working on it for 20 minutes trying to get the fish pointed the right way, and you know, it was not easy, but it was an extremely cool video. I mean, that was the first or the second marbled murrelet nest found on the Siskiyou National Forest, so it was a really big deal. And since it was occupied habitat, then that timber sale could not go forward. They had to not sell it. I think it hadn't been sold yet, and they had to not sell it because of that. So, and that gave us more time, and eventually we did get the wilderness area, and they never did clear cut those units. So anyway, that little eggshell was a big deal.
Yeah.
I was just going to say I'm representing also Coast Range Forest Watch, which was started because of Friends of Elk River, and they've done the same thing in the Elliott for a long time. I don't know if you want to say anything about that briefly.
Yeah, we started up in about 2013, so this is like 6 years now, and we've done Murrelet surveys in the Elliott, and kind of when we were starting, a friend of mine, Pete, kind of had this crazy idea, and I kind of went along with it because I'd been a field biologist for several years and was kind of tired of just documenting the decline. You know, it was like I was filling out lots of forms and lots of numbers and sending lots of sheets of data in, and it was like, I want to do something about this, you know, and not just write it down. So I went along with it to see what was going on, and I was kind of like, you know, Pete, has anybody ever done anything like this before? Like this whole Murrelet idea, it seems crazy. And he was like, oh, I don't know, there's these people in the Elk River, they did it. And there was this guy up in Yaha, it's Paul Engelmeyer, he did it. Like we could do it, you know. So we started doing it, and we've you know, protected through our, you know, we grew to a team of like 12 surveyors one year, I think we were 8 or something, and we shrank again, and now we're kind of in the shrank stage. But we've got lots of volunteers that have helped out over the years, and we've protected somewhere around 3,000 acres of habitat in the Elliott State Forest. Yeah, it was a team effort though. What Coast Range Forest Watch did in that campaign was we mostly tried to make sure that people that lived around the Elliott State Forest, that their voices were heard in Salem. So we did things like organized rallies, and we took buses of people up to Salem to make sure that the people in Salem that were making the decisions understood the concerns of people that lived in Coos Bay and Reedsport and Allegheny. Because when we started going out to talk to people, we went to the farmers market and started handing out brochures and handbills, and I was kind of like readying myself to like get beat up or something in Coos Bay, you know, as a tree hugger, just going out and being like, please. But we found that actually that was a really unpopular idea to sell the forest with a lot of different people, not just environmentalists, because a lot of people were connected to that forest because they like to hunt there, or they like to forage mushrooms there, or they'd been going out there their whole life to swim. You know, whether or not they cared about the marbled murrelet or the spotted owl, there was a lot of different reasons that people didn't want that forest to be sold. So yeah, we just tried to be a conduit to get everybody's voices up to Salem, and there was a lot of people that were working statewide. You know, Portland Audubon was huge. Cascadia Wildlands has always been huge on the Elliott State Forest, and Oregon Wild helped a lot. Sierra, I mean, I could go on and on. It was a big movement across the whole state to stop that from happening.